There's a quiet truth about intimacy. Sometimes what a woman desires most is never put into words. Not because Shadow isn't wanted, but because the magic lies in being understood without having to ask. It's in those silent moments where connection deepens and where the Yunsei becomes the most powerful link. The first secret is the element of surprise. When everything is predictable, desire becomes routine. But when you catch her off guard, not with something extravagant, but with a shift in the pace, a sudden change in direction, or a move she didn't see coming, you awaken her senses. It's a reminder that you're not just going through the motions. You're present, reading the moment. Second, confident leadership. This is not about control. It's about guiding the experience with assurance. A woman feels drawn in when she senses that you know where you're going, that you're holding the space for both of you. It's a form of safety and excitement wrapped together, where your certainty allows her to let go. Third, the intentional pause. The moments you don't rush are often more powerful than ones you do. When you slow down at just the right time, you create anticipation. You let her feel thuddled up and you send a message. I'm here, and I'm not in a hurry to reach the end. That patience can be intoxicating. Fourth, playful teasing. The best encounters often have laughter hidden in them. A mischievous smile, a quick retreat, a light touch before pulling back. These small, playful acts keep the mood alive and unpredictable. Desire thrives when there's a sense often. Fifth, whispered affirmations. Words have weight when they're spoken softly, close enough to feel, telling her what you see, what you admire, what makes you feel. These moments aren't just about pleasure. They're about validation and being seen. And sixth, the gaze that holds. Not a glance, not a look away, but a moment where your eyes stay with hers. Steady and unbroken. In that gaze, you're telling her, I see you. I'm here, and I'm not looking anywhere else. The things she won't say out loud are often the ones that mean the most. They live in the space between words, in the rhythm, the pauses. These subtle signs that you understand her without her needing to explain. That's where the real art of connection begins. The element of surprise in intimacy isn't about grand gestures or elaborate uplands. It's about the subtle shifts that awaken curiosity and excitement. When moments become predictable, the mind begins to anticipate every step, and the spark can dim over time. But when you introduce the unexpected, you bring her back into the present moment, making her feel alive and engaged in the experience. It could be as simple as changing the rhythm, altering the sequence she's used to, or adding a small touch in an unexpected place. These moments aren't random. They're intentional, rooted in awareness of hearing the shared energy between you. Surprise works because it interrupts autopilot. When a woman doesn't know exactly what's coming next, her sense shadens, her attention sharpens, and her mind starts to wonder in anticipation. It's a kind of mystery that draws her in, not in a way that makes her feel uneasy, but in a way that feels exciting and safe. The art lies in balancing the thrill of unpredictability, the reassurance that she's still cared for and respected in every move. This is where reading subtle cues, the way her breathing changes, the shift in her body language, the spark in her eyes becomes essential. The best surprise are personal. They show that you're yet to her preferences, her reactions, and her unspoken desires. Maybe you shift from something slow and deliberate to something a little more playful. Or you pause entirely when she least expects it, letting the silence end. Stillness speak louder than any action. It's about creating a rhythm that is never flatlined. A dance where she can't predict the next step, but trust that wherever you lead, it will be worth the journey. Surprise also keeps the emotional side of connection alive. It says, I'm not just here to repeat the same script. I'm here to explore, to notice, and to bring something new each time. It prevents the interaction from becoming mechanical. Instead, turning it into a living, breathing experience that evolves in real time. This unpredictability builds a sense of adventure, and adventure is a powerful fuel for attraction. Confident leadership in intimacy is not about dominance or control. It's about presence, clarity, and the ability to guide the experience in a way that makes her feel both excited and secure. When Almond moves with intention, it creates a sense of trust. She knows you're not hesitating, second-guessing, or waiting for permission at every turn. Instead, you're tuned in, reading the moment, and making choices that draw her deeper into the connection. This kind of leadership allows her to relax and let go, because she senses that you're holding the frame for both of you. Confidence comes through in the way you initiate, the way you transition, and the way you maintain flow without losing touch with her emotional and physical cues. It's the steadiness in your touch, the way you move without fumbling or rushing, and the way you can change direction smoothly without breaking the mood. Even subtle gestures, adjusting her position with care, guiding her hand, or shifting pace without asking, send the message that you're in tune with her and know where you're going. True leadership hurry is deeply attentive. It's not about doing what you want regardless of her response. It's about creating an experience where she feels like you've anticipated her needs before she even voices them. This means your confidence is paired with awareness. You're not just leading. You're listening with your whole body, attuned to the smallest signs. The way her muscles tense or relax, the sounds she makes, the way her breathing changes. These are signal shit. Tell you whether to slow down, push forward, or linger in a certain moment. Women often respond strongly to confident leadership because it allows them to step away from their own mental checklist. In everyday life, they might be the planners, the decision makers, the ones holding everything together. But in this space, they can surrender that role because you've shown you're capable of holding it for them. That surrender is not weakness. It's trust. And trust amplifies desire. When you lead with confidence, you create a flow that feels seamless and natural. Shadow doesn't have to think about what's coming next. She can simply feel. That combination of your certainty and your sensitivity turns the entire experience into something more than physical. It becomes an emotional journey where she feels guided, cherished, and completely safe to let go. The intentional pause is one of the most underestimated tools in building deep intimacy. Many people think momentum alone drives passion, but the truth is moments of stillness can be even more powerful than constant motion. A pause is not an absence of action. It's a deliberate choice to slow everything down, to hold a moment long enough for it to deepen. When you stop or slow at just the right time, you create space for anticipation, and anticipation is one of the strongest catalysts for desire. It shifts her focus from simply experiencing the present to actively yearning for what comes next. An intentional pause works because it plays with timing. It interrupts the predictable flow, not in a jarring way, but in a way that makes the moment richer. Instead of rushing to the next movement, you let the air between you thicken with expectation. She notices the small details more clearly. Your breathing, your gaze, the subtle contact between you. It becomes less about speed and more about savoring. In that stillness, she feels not only your touch, but your presence. And presence is what transforms a physical act into a deeply emotional one. The pause also communicates consigned. Someone who rushes through every step might unintentionally signal nervousness or eagerness to be done. But when you can slow down and linger, you show that you're in no hurry, that you value the journey as much as the destination. That unspoken message, you have all the time in the world for this moment, can be intoxicating. It tells her she's worth every second of your attention. Pausing also heightens sensitivity. When a moment is prolonged, the senses recalibrate. What might have felt normal seconds ago suddenly becomes simplified when movement resumes. The touch feels warmer, the connection deeper, and the emotional charge stronger. This ebb and flow keeps her fully engaged, unable to drift into a distraction. Reading her response during the pause is essential. You can feel if she's leaning into it, holding her breath, or subtly drawing you closer. These cues tell you when to stay still, when to move again, and how to make that transition feel effortless. It's this kind of deliberate pacing that turns the experience into something layered, not a single rush from start to finish, but our rhythm that carries peaks and valleys, each one more memorable because of the pauses that came before. Playful teasing is the spark that keeps intimacy feeling light, alive, and unpredictable. It is the art of blending connection with a sense of fun, creating an experience that's not overly serious or mechanical. Playfulness works because it introduces curiosity into the moment, much like the early days of attraction, when every interaction felt like a game of discovery. When you tease in a thoughtful way, you're not only engaging her physically, but also stimulating her mind, making her wonder what you'll do next. This keeps her fully present, eager to follow the flow rather than anticipating every step. Teasing can be subtle, a fleeting touch that disappears before she can lean into it, a slow approach that suddenly pulls back, or a mischievous smile that promises something she can't quite predict. These gestures build a sense of chase, even within an already intimate moment. You create a push and pull dynamic where desire is encouraged to grow instead of being instantly satisfied. That slight delay or interruption doesn't frustrate. It excites. It tells her you're confident enough to hold back, knowing it will make the next moment even more powerful. Playfulness also creates emotional safety. When there's laughter, smirks, or light-hearted exchanges woven into the experience, it relieves any underlying tension. It reminds her that intimacy doesn't have to be flawless or overly intense to be meaningful. In fact, those moments of shared amusement can make the connection feel even more authentic. They say we can explore and experiment without pressure. This relaxed energy allows her to let her guard down and engage more openly. The key to effective teasing is reading her reactions carefully. You notice if she's leaning in, matching your energy, or lying with you. You adjust in real time, making sure the playfulness is mutual and never one-sided. When you sense she's enjoying the build-up, you can prolong it, weaving moments of closeness with moments of retreat, making each reconnection feel fresh. Playful teasing also enhances the emotional memory of the moment. Long after the encounter, she's likely to remember not just what happened, but how she felt. The rush of excitement, the laughter, the sense that she was part of an unfolding game where both of you knew the rules without speaking them. It's this blend of unpredictability and warmth that turns a simple interaction into something unforgettable, where Thefin becomes as enticing as the closeness itself. Whispered affirmations are more than just words. They're an intimate bridge between emotion and physical connection. When you speak softly, close now for her to feel the warmth of your breath. The words carry a weight they could never have in any other context. In that closeness, your voice becomes part of the moment itself. Not just something she hears, but something she feels. It's a private language mentally for her, which makes it feel deeply personal and cherished. The power of whispered affirmations lies in their authenticity. They work best when they are genuine reflections of what you are experiencing or noticing in her right. Then, it might be the way you appreciate how she looks, how she moves, or how she makes you feel. These statements aren't about rehearsed lines. They're about tuning in so closely that words emerge naturally, carrying the truth of the moment. She can tell when you mean it, and that sincerity deepens the emotional connection instantly. Speaking softly also slows the rhythm of interaction. A whisper forces her to focus, to listen more carefully, to lean in toward you. This small act changes the energy. It draws her out of her thoughts and into the now. A single quiet sentence can be more impactful than a dozen louder ones, Priscilla Beckus. It demands her presence. In this way, whispered affirmations become a form of emotional seduction where you invite her deeper into the shared experience without needing grand gestures. The choice of words matters, but not as much as the intention behind them. Specific and personal affirmations resonate more deeply than general compliments. When you notice a unique detail, something that only you could have observed in that moment, you show her that you're not just participating, you're truly present. This level of attention makes her feel seen in a way that is rare and meaningful. Timing is sickly important. A whisper delivered at the right moment can heighten her anticipation or reassure her in the midst of intensity. It can steady her if she feels overwhelmed, or it can encourage her to lean further into the moment. These affirmations aren't just about praise. They're about anchoring her in a shared connection. When combined with tone, closeness, and sincerity, they become a powerful reminder that this is not just an encounter. It's a meeting of two people fully attuned to each other in both mind and body. Eye contact that holds is one of the most profound forms of nonverbal communication in intimacy. It has the power to silence the mind, draw two people into the same emotional space, and create a connection that feels intricately present. When you sustain eye contact, you're not just looking at her, you're acknowledging her, seeing her in a way that goes beyond the physical. This act tells her that in this moment, nothing else exists and nothing else matters. It's rare for people to truly look into each other's eyes for more than a fleeting second, which is why it carries such weight when it happens here. Sustained eye contact creates a feedback loop of emotion. The more you hold it, the more your breathing sinks, your expressions mirror, and your awareness sharpens. It's as if time slows down and the rest of the world fades away. This isn't about staring or making her uncomfortable. It's about offering a steady, calm presence that she can rest into. The gaze is warm, inviting, and reassuring, even when layered with intensity. One reason this is so powerful is because eyes often reveal more than words. Through them, she can read your sincerity, your focus, and your desire. You don't have to explain how you feel. She can see it. And when she holds your gaze in return, she's not just acknowledging you, she's meeting you there, matching your presence with her own. In that exchange, a silent trust forms. Building a bridge that deepens everything else happening between you. This kind of eye contact also enhances vulnerability. It strips away the distractions and forces you both into a space of mutual awareness. Some people instinctively look away when emotions feel too strong. But choosing to keep your eyes locked shows courage and openness. It says, I'm here with you in this fully and without hesitation. That kind of commitment in a look can create an emotional anchor. She remembers long after the moment passes. Timing and subtlety matter. You don't need to hold it endlessly. Even a few intentional sins at just the right point can feel electric. Breaking the gaze briefly before returning to it can build anticipation, while holding it during moments of heightened connection can magnify the emotional charge. This isn't just about seeing each other, it's habitually being seen. And that's something most people long for far more than they ever admit. True intimacy is rarely about a checklist of actions. It's a booth unspoken language to people share when they are fully present with each other. The things she secretly wants but doesn't say are not about extravagance. They're about how you make her feel in the moment. The element of surprise keeps her curious and engaged. Confident leadership allows her to surrender into trust. Intentional pauses build anticipation that fuels desire. Playful teasing adds lightness and keeps the energy alive. Whispered affirmations make her feel deeply seen. And eye contact that holds creates a connection that words could never match. When these elements come together, they transform an ordinary experience into something layered with emotion, meaning, and memory. It becomes more than just physical closeness. It becomes a shared space where she feels desired, safe, understood, and free to express herself without hesitation. The beauty of these sex secrets is that they're not techniques to master and repeat in the same way every time. They're ways of being. Skills that evolve with every encounter because they're rooted in attentiveness. The magic lies in your ability to tune in, to notice the smallest cues, and to respond in ways that feel authentic rather than scripted. You're not just participating. You're co-creating a moment that neither of you can fully plan, yet both of you will fully feel. It's this blend of presence, unpredictability, and emotional depth that keeps intimacy alive even in the longest relationships. In the end, What she won't say out loud is what she hopes. You'll discover on your own. Not because she wants to test you, but because there's something profoundly moving about being understood with needing to ask. When you can sense her desires, lead with care, and meet her in that unspoken space, you are no longer just sharing a moment. You are building a connection that lingers far beyond it. That's where real desire lives, in the space between what is said and what is felt, between action and anticipation, between two people who know how to truly see each.